not look like it, but I swear I'm in the middle of a glow up. And I'm gonna talk to you guys about it today. Right now we're making tea. I'm obsessed. I opened this on a past video with you guys, but I'm making some of my little magic hour tea. So I'm heating it up to make a little tea so that we can sit down and have a chat together. Let's pour the tea and let's go outside and just have a little chit chat. Right, we are gonna sit down and have a little tea ceremony together. Look how cute this tiny little cup is. It makes me so happy. Hello, welcome back to my channel. This video is a little different. I really have been enjoying showing up here and having conversations with you guys. And today I just did not have it in me to film a haul. And I am just tired and I'm a little bit behind on like some other work, and I feel like I'm behind on spending time with myself. And so I thought, you know, option one, I can not have a video go up when we've been a lot more diligent about being regular, and it's really important for me to like show up even when I don't feel like it, because I feel like that's what I encourage you guys to do, to show up even when you feel like you aren't the version of yourself that you want to be. I've been talking a lot over on my Instagram stories. I've actually been sharing a series over on, I guess on TikTok and Instagram about glowing up, just because I realized I just was not and am not feeling great in my body. I've talked about it on here before, but there's so many different little elements of why I just don't feel like myself, and why when images pop up from this time last year, I felt like such a more exuberant, excited, like embodied version of myself in a lot of ways. And so I've just been reflecting on like what is missing, what's changed, and like what do I need to do to have a glow up. And I mean, I'm not looking for just like a physical glow up. I'm looking for like a life glow up, a emotional glow up, a spiritual glow up, like just an entire metamorphosis. I don't know if it's spring bringing it on, but I love this idea of us working with the seasons, like winter being a season where we kind of like cocoon and recuperate and snuggle up and eat all the good food and be comfortable. And then spring is when we come alive and we bloom and we blossom, and we you know, all the intentions that we planted at the end of the last year are starting to come into bloom, hopefully, if we've been tending them. And not to put timelines on things, I think we need to be really careful about like not, you know, like New Year's resolutions and priorities. And like, I fall into this trap so hard, but I'm always trying to fix myself. The irony is not lost on me that this video is about glowing up and like having a glow up. And it's like me saying like, we don't always need to be constantly fixing ourselves. But the truth is we are always in a state of flux. We're always in a state of change. And in my morning meditation today, there was a quote, which I'm gonna find for you guys in a second, but it was by this author, and randomly this book showed up at my doorstep, and I didn't know that my mom had sent it to me, and it's just random quotes by an author that I don't know much about. And it's really funny because she was who was quoted in this meditation that I was doing. So it sent me to my book that I knew I had, and the first page I open, I felt like this quote was for us, so I'm going to read it right now. It says, "Life is a process of becoming, a combination of states we have to go through. Where people fail is that they wish to elect a state and remain in it. This is a kind of death." Yeah, that just really spoke to me, because what I've been talking about on Instagram and how I've been referring to this season is that I feel like I'm in a waiting room. Like, I feel like the person that I've been is no longer who I am, but I don't think I quite see the next version of my life or who I am or what I look like. Not physically, you know, but like what life looks like. So I've been referring to it as the waiting room. It's like, I know that I'm not meant to be where I was, but I don't quite know what that next room looks like. So I think a lot of us are in this right now, because based on the conversations I've been having over on Instagram, a lot of people are feeling this. So I just wanted to talk today about how I'm glowing up physically, spiritually, emotionally. This is the actual quote that I originally heard this morning on my meditation, and it really struck me because I'm pretty sure that either Brene Brown or Elizabeth Gilbert has a similar one about when it becomes more uncomfortable where you are, then change is when you'll make change. But our very bodies and like our systems are made to resist change, because that's how we used to survive, but that's not true anymore. So this was the quote that was on my meditation. And the day came when the risk to remain tight in a bud was more painful than the risk it took to blossom. And I'm going to say that again because I just think it's so powerful. The day came when the risk to remain tight in a bud was more painful than the risk it took to blossom. And I think that this quote is so appropriate for spring right now, because as I've been walking, if you guys follow me on Instagram, I'm obsessed with all the wildflowers, and like my tree is budding and there's apricots on it. And just this morning, actually, I was on my walk and I took this picture of the wildflowers on my sidewalk, and I stop and smell the jasmine and the magnolia trees, and I'm just so enamored with nature and how it comes alive. And here in California with all the rain, we're about to have a bunch of super blooms, so stay tuned because I'm gonna be trying to like see as many flowers as I can. But all that to say, I think one of the things I've been struggling with is not acting on the projects and not acting on the ideas that I've been given out of fear. And I think I'm at the point where it's more uncomfortable to not act on the ideas, and it's more uncomfortable to not do the things that I know I want to do than it is the fear of doing them. So maybe that's what tips the balance, or maybe that's what, you know, makes the teeter-totter. That's what finally knocks it down so you can take off running. I don't know. That being said, I promised you some glow up talk. So I realized one of the, let's break this down into a thing. I'm gonna say 5 things I'm doing to glow up this spring. And I'm gonna try to hit on a lot of different areas. So physically, I'm working on enhancing my natural beauty in ways that feel good to me. And just taking little steps like that. Because for me, how it creeps in and how it starts is I wake up in the morning and I don't have time to get ready or like do my proper skincare, or I don't wanna like put on actual clothes, which is all fine. Like we all deserve days off. Like, yeah, you know, I don't think any of us need clothes or makeup or anything to be complete. Like we don't need those things. But there is some energy that goes from getting ready and putting effort into yourself and feeling good about those choices that say, hey world, like I feel good about myself and I'm representing myself to the best of my ability out here. Like I think that there is an energy to that. And so I think when we put a little bit of self-care into ourselves, it's like a ripple effect. And I think it can be a real mood booster. So I just started small. Like so far, here's where we are on the journey. I went and got my lashes tinted and lifted, and that has been so great. I think I talked about that on a previous vlog, but I don't know if you guys can see. They just look like they're curled and they're like tinted, so they look like they have mascara and curl on them at least. And that inspired me. So I went to my favorite little cutie salon, and they were having like a special deal for it, and that's what gave me the idea. But I went in and she just put the solution on my eyelashes, and then she like glued these little like rods up to it and like curled them and like held them up for like a little while, and then it like permed them, and then she added the color dye to it and then removed everything. And after, I was honestly just blown away. Like I just was like, oh my gosh, like I'm so over lash extensions. I don't even want to take the time to like glue individuals like on the days that I want to feel pretty. It's so nice to just wake up and be like, oh, my eyes look a little more awake. It is such a gift. So I was really happy with my results with that. Just wanted to share that. And then I came home, and the next morning the first thing I wanted to do was laminate my brows, and I've already shared my brow lamination process with you guys over, I think I did a video on here, and I've also shared it on other channels. If for some reason you missed that, you want more information, let me know. But every 6 to 8 weeks or so I do my own brow lamination. So I don't have literally a stitch of makeup on right now. I'm like not looking my best today, and like I told you, I can't do anything about it. The irony, I know. But my eyebrows just like have so much more fullness to them, and if I were to just comb them up right now, I don't have a comb with me, but they would look perfect. So that's another thing I did. And then this week, a couple days ago, I went and got my hair done, which I will also be sharing about. Just, you know, it's just part of my little glow up. I'm doing like a little mini series about just anything I'm doing to make myself feel better about myself. I've been doing a Tuesday night yoga class, and it's been really nice. It's just deep stretching. And I had this realization this week that it is the first time I've not dreaded moving my body at all, and I was actually excited about it. And when I was in the class, I was like elated. I was like, oh my gosh, this feels so good. Like I feel so in my body, and I was so into it. Like I never lost focus. I was like, oh my gosh, is this thing over? I can't do this anymore. We're pouring our tea. We're having a little tea and chat. If you haven't already and you want this to be like a little sip and chat pause the video now or bring me with you if you're on your device and make yourself a cup of tea, make a coffee, a hot cocoa, a cacao, a matcha. Well, first of all, comment below and let me know your comforting drink of choice. And second of all, let me know if you made it and you're sipping and chatting with me. I did this little tea ceremony in Ojai, not in Ojai, the tea salon is in Ojai, in Santa Barbara, and it was with the woman who founded Magic Hour Teas, which is the tea I'm drinking right now. And yeah, she invited us, like, she poured us, we all had our own little teapots, and we had these precious little tea, and we sat with the tea and held it for a moment and let it bring us into the present moment. And what I mean about that is, like, you know, like we're talking right now, you're watching this video, you're doing a million other things, like bring you into the present moment. So the tea itself is warm, and so like feeling that sensation, like, you know, like, oh, I feel warmth in my hands. And then you're like, I kind of hear the breeze right now, or I have a little tingling sensation in my legs, or it opens you up to your current experience, and that shuts out the mind chatter. So that's what I mean by an invitation to like sit with a cup of tea and just like, you know, ponder. Because I feel like, I don't know, to me, personal appearance and how we present ourselves in the world is such a huge part of our identity that it really is worth talking about. And that's why I think this channel has been such a good outlet for me. It's something that I've struggled with my entire life, was who I am, what others see when they see me, what my identity is, what my physical story plays into my identity. It's been a lifelong journey. I struggled with disordered eating for over 10 years. It's been such a journey for me to get to the point where I'm comfortable being seen just as I am. Now, like without makeup, my hair's a little unbrushed. Showing my body is like the biggest thing. I felt the most shame around my body. And so I feel like, you know, this is a topic that has shaped who I am, has changed my life, has created a career, has created community. And so it's something that I think is going to continue to evolve. There was a point where I was like, oh, wow, like I've learned to intuitively eat. I've accepted my body. Like I thought that was it. That was the journey for me, right? And I'm going to go back to that quote when I first started this talk. Here it is. Life is a process of becoming, a combination of states we have to go through. Where people fail is they wish to elect a state and remain in it, and this is a kind of death. And I realized, like, I have been in the same state that I've been in for several years, in a lot of ways, and like a couple years at least now. And maybe I'm not meant to remain in that state, and that this discomfort I'm feeling is because it's time to like blossom, and it's time to like go full out and do the things I say I want to do, and, you know, walk the walk. So if that resonates with you at all, let me know. Feel free, if you're a journaler, to kind of like think about that and just say like, what habits or behaviors are stopping me from becoming who I want to become, which was a question they asked on my meditation today. Like, what does that feel like to me? And how can I release that? I love this concept. Like when you think about Michelangelo's sculptures, like we are not something that needs to be fixed or created. We exist. And that highest version of ourselves already exists. And so our job is not to completely change ourselves and give ourselves a makeover and like remold and reinvent the wheel. Our job is to chisel away everything surrounding us that is covering up the true essence of who we are and what we stand for. And I love that quote from Michelangelo. He essentially said, like, the work of art, like the beautiful marble statue, is in there already. I'm just chipping the marble that's blocking you from seeing it. And like, I just think that's such a powerful metaphor for us as humans, because we often think like, I need to fix myself or change, or if I was more like this, or discipline, or like self, you know, willpower. Like there's so many different things to categorize it in and call it. But a lot of it is just stuff we need to remove. Outdated stories about ourselves. Like we were told by somebody that we didn't look good in a certain color, and the rest of our lives we're like, well, I can't wear that, I can't do that. Like it manifests itself in so many different ways. So I just invite you to look at, what stories are you ready to let go of that no longer serve you and that no longer represent the person you're becoming? What stories are standing in the way between you and the version of yourself that you know is there? And that's kind of what I'm asking myself. So I know we're talking about physical stuff and style. So now another thing I've been focusing on is figuring out my style again. As my body continues to change, I have a choice about how I interpret that story and how I treat it. And for a while I was just wanting to wear the same sweatpants and cozy stuff, which is normal and a mode that I go through. But as you guys, I'm assuming, have been watching some of the other videos, I've been really trying to like find the new version of what style looks like. Like, is it more comfortable? Is it, I don't know what it looks like. The way that I'm treating my body, I can choose to see the fact that I'm up a size as a personal and moral failing, and that there's something wrong with me. It could be, I'm like, oh my gosh, is my metabolism slowing down? Am I older? You know, like, am I being undisciplined? Have I not been working out enough? Like, it's as if it's a personal or moral failing. And guess what? It's not. It is what it is. And I believe, and my body has shown me before, that when I pay attention to it and I treat it well, it does what it needs to do and it takes care of itself. So when I'm listening and I take it to the doctor if it needs to go to the doctor or whatever, for me, I realize, first of all, that I should accept it no matter what. So I have a choice of trying to fit. It's kind of a metaphor for what I was just saying. Like, I'm trying to be the past version of myself, right? What I wore last summer, if it doesn't fit, like, I'm not the same person that I was. And so do I try to shame myself and squeeze myself into that mold and decide I'm unworthy of love and attention if I'm not the exact same as I was? Or do I accept this new iteration of myself and treat it with as much kindness and dignity as I can muster in this moment? And that's what I'm going with. So, you know, some clothes do still fit and look great and some don't. And some things I only bought because they were trending. And I'm just really getting sick of feeling like I need to try to keep up with trends or wear what everyone else is wearing, especially in an industry where there's so much comparison because, you know, especially here in LA, there's so many of us that do this, and I know other girls that do what I do. And sometimes I'm like, oh, I still haven't worn low-rise jeans that are like super wide leg and like done this trend. Like, does that make me irrelevant? Like, do I have bad style? No. Trends are take what you like and leave the rest. I have a lot of fun when a trend comes around. Like, I love to play with like color, but only in a way that feels right to me. So am I trying to fit myself into a mold, trying to compare myself to other people, peers, family members, friends, like where they are in their lives, what works for them? Like, we're all such different people. So that's another thing. I'm losing track of where we are. I did, for beauty stuff, I did my lashes, my brows, my hair. I'm working on my personal style. And then asking myself just what isn't serving me anymore and what I can let go of. So that's kind of the journey that I'm on right now. Those are 5 things I'm contemplating, and those are 5 ways I'm glowing up, relating to like the physical aspect and how I'm taking care of myself in this season. I have talked with my trainer openly and vulnerably about how I'm feeling, and I've also looked at the truth of my participation in this. And the truth is, this time last year and before, like, I was walking. I would take walks at night and voice memo friends and listen to podcasts, and it was like the joy of my night. Part of that is winter. It started getting dark at 4:30 and 5, and I was still working, and I had to use the light, and so I wasn't able to walk, and I got busier, and it just that timing didn't work. And I had lost my schedule with my trainer, and so I wasn't working out the same days and as regularly, etc. Like, there's so many factors. And then I realized, because of all this pressure that I'm putting on myself, and just also life and joy, like, there's 2 parts of it. I wasn't being super mindful about what I was eating, but I also wasn't moving. Like, I was not in my body. I wasn't listening to my body for a few months because I think I was using food and experiences and keeping myself really so busy that I didn't even have the time to stop and listen to my bodily cues. I think that contributed to my body holding on to more weight than it was before. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Like, I have decided I will love and accept my body at any stage. I will dress in clothes that make me equally as joyful when I'm a size 12 as if I'm a size 24, you know? And I have fluctuated between like a 14 and an 18 for the past few years. But for about 2-3 years, like 3, I want to say 3-ish to almost 4 years, I was like very I had the same weight, and like, not weight, but like I was the same size, and I didn't really think about it at all. It wasn't on my mind. And now I find myself obsessing again. And I think a lot of it is this diet stuff that keeps getting thrown at us this time of year. So I'm just here to consciously be aware and say, you know what? Yeah, I'm hearing a lot of messaging about swimsuits. I'm feeling pressure about travel and Coachella and all of these things. And that is societally infiltrating my brain. And I have the choice to replace that with a loving script that says, I hear you that you're not feeling good in your body. Is that because you're comparing yourself or you don't feel good in your body? And for me, the answer was I wasn't feeling good in my body. Well, why? Well, I wasn't spending time in my body. I wasn't walking. That's why that weekly yoga class, this will be my 4th one, has been so beautiful and special to me, because it's not for exercise or calories or working out. Like, it's truly just spending time in my body in deep, long stretches, listening to my body when it says you can push a little further, and listening to it when it says I need support, put a block under my back, or no, don't press that hard, we're not ready for that. Like, it's these subtle things, and it's listening to myself in the morning when I'm journaling, and it's spending quiet time, and it's reflection with you guys, honestly, that helps me really see these things in hindsight. So listening to my body and giving it what it needs and being honest with myself around that is, I think, like the fifth and final way I'm really working on glowing up. So I have a lot more to say about this stuff. I will be extending an invitation to do a lot of these things with me. So if you're interested and you like pouring a cup of tea, or, you know, getting into your closet and going through things with me, I'd love to do more things together and invite you guys to participate in anything that I'm doing and open the discussion in those ways. Just am ready for change. And I'm ready to be open about sharing that I'm ready for change, and I'm ready to be open to what that change looks like. So that's all I've got. I hope that this was helpful. I have quite a few hauls coming up, just trying on clothes, because I'm trying to figure out what I need in my wardrobe this year, again, because my size has fluctuated. So many of you have been enjoying browsing the Poshmark. We were on Depop, we moved to Poshmark, so I'll plug that. Finally, I'm still in the running for the Sephora squad. So if you have not yet left me a testimonial and you have even 1 minute to spare, it would mean so much to me if you would click the link here in my bio. For those that, if you haven't heard about it, the Sephora squad is a group of creators that work with Sephora to share about innovations in beauty, etc. Like, they get to be a part of a partnership, like an ambassador for Sephora all year long. And it was really outside my comfort zone to apply. And I'm, like I said, I'm trying to walk the walk and just do what I would encourage my best friend to do, because we should all be our own best friends. So yeah, if you feel that I would be a good addition and you have gained anything positive from being a part of this channel or any of my other social media, it would mean the world. I'll put a link there, and it's just, all it asks you is for like a quick, like, there's not even that many characters, like 140 or something characters, of just like why you think I would be a good, I don't actually know how many characters, I made that up, but it's not that many. Like, there's a limit, okay, of why you think I'd be a good addition to the Sephora squad. That would be incredible. Yeah, and I'm just really grateful to have you guys here and be able to like digest these things and talk about them as I'm going through them. We are gonna make it through the spring and summer and changes of our bodies, and we're gonna take good care of ourselves, and we're gonna have fun doing it, gosh darn it. That's all there is to it. So next week we have Showpo, H&M, ASOS. I've got like some bridesmaid, not bridesmaid, wedding guest dresses to talk about. We'll be doing more cabin stuff. I've got some more like home hauls, like things I've been buying for the cabin, more swimwear try on. I've got Aerie, like there's a lot of really fun stuff coming up. So stay tuned, and if you guys have any more video requests, let me know. I've been taking notes of the requests that you have to compile into a video, but if you want me to expand upon any of this stuff, please let me know. And I hope you're taking good care of yourself. Your homework for this video is to contemplate the things we talked about, and just to comment below if you had any epiphanies or takeaway or realizations with yourself, or just anything you felt like you wanted to share with us regarding glowing up, moving from one version of yourself to the other. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Oh, and I'm Alex Michael May on Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest. Lemonade now. Haven't posted on there, but goodness, is there ever going to be a time where we can keep up with all the different social media channels? That's why my heart keeps coming back here, because I feel like this is the one space that I can be my most raw, real self, and I can share whatever's on my mind, and inevitably I feel like one of you at least is walking that journey along with me, and it's really cool to share this space. So I appreciate it. I appreciate you sharing your precious time with me. Stay tuned for more exciting things, and I'll catch you guys on the next video this week, which will be a fashion video.